Welcome back to the Atreyu Locs channel, and let me just start out by saying Happy New Year! I do hope everyone is happy and excited to be entering the year 2021. It's because 2020 was absolutely horrible in so many different ways. It's funny because I remember thinking back in 2019 that the year 2020 was going to be so awesome. I mean, how could it not be with that title? It's the year 2020. I guess it just goes to show to never judge a book by its cover or a year by its number. So I'm just really hoping for a much happier, more relaxing, less stressful, more productive and successful, of course, year in 2021. So to kick that off, we're going to be starting out with a video discussing 5 things you do not do when you're on a semi-freeform journey. Let's get to it. As usual, guys, if you have not already done so, definitely hit the subscribe button. It means a lot. And let me just take a moment to thank all of the new subscribers as of late. I really appreciate you guys just continuing to come in. I do see you. And thank you to all of my old vet subscribers who have just been supporting me from day one on this channel and my previous channel, which happened to have the same name now that I switched back to Atreyu Locs. Yeah, long story. Anyway, moving on. If you have already subscribed, thank you, then definitely make sure that you have hit the notification bell so that you're notified every single time I upload as soon as I do. So let me first start out by saying there are definitely different definitions of what it means to semi-freeform. I'm not going to get into the semantic debates about what it means to semi-freeform, nor am I going to be realistic for the purposes of this video. I'm just going to be speaking very generally. So basically, I've just compiled a very short list drawing from different sources from different people who are also on a semi-freeform journey, and I put them in this list, and I'm listing these things as the 5 things you don't do when on a semi-freeform journey. Now obviously there are going to be exceptions, but like I said, that's out of the scope of this video. Number 1 is you obviously don't do much maintenance. So that means you're not overstyling your locks, and you're also not retwisting too much or tightening too much or whatever method you use to do your maintenance. You're not doing too much of it. Remember, semi-freeformers, they kind of fall in the middle of the spectrum. So you have freeform lockers at one end, and then you have manicured lockers at the other end of the spectrum, and then somewhere in between is where we semi-freeformers lie. So if you're doing too much maintenance, or if you're doing a lot of styling, then you're kind of moving toward the manicured lock part of the spectrum. But you're semi-freeform, so you don't want to do too much. Also, you don't want to be too neglectful of your hair, and neglectful has a negative connotation. I don't mean it in that way, but I'm just saying you kind of want to do some maintenance, or you would be considered a freeformer, right? But you're a semi-freeformer. So yeah, just not doing too much maintenance, finding a nice balance. Number 2 is your hands are not constantly in your hair, okay? So if you are a semi-freeformer, your hands are definitely not constantly in your hair. That's not something that you do because you kind of have a mindset of you just doing your thing while you kind of let your locks do their thing. You're not micromanaging, if you will. You're just kind of letting your locks be, and you do what you need to do to them, you know, when it's time, but you're not hovering, okay? You're kind of just letting them grow. And then once they start to do a little bit too much, then you kind of rein it in a little bit. So that means that you won't have your hands constantly in your hair, whether it's to separate all the time, not that there's anything wrong with separating, or if it's twirling your locks. I mean, you, like I said, you just kind of leave them be. So a semi-freeformer definitely does not have his or her hands in their locks all the time. The third thing that semi-freeformers don't do is put products in their hair. And for many semi-freeformers, this actually includes oils. Some semi-freeformers don't use any oil on their locks. They just completely rely on the sebum, the natural oil that is produced by the body to moisturize their locks. Not all semi-freeformers take this approach. I, for example, am a semi-freeformer who does use oil on my locks. I'm pretty minimalistic when it comes to product use. I mean, in fact, I really don't use products at all, but I do use oil sparingly. I don't do it super often, but I do actually use it from time to time. And by the way, while I'm thinking about it, I am going to be sharing my winter lock routine a little bit later, so definitely stick around if you want to hear that. So yeah, semi-freeformers, they don't load their hair up with products. Many of them don't use any products whatsoever, and a lot of them don't even use oil. Number 4 is you don't overwash your hair, but you also don't underwash your hair. First of all, I'm not gonna tell anybody how often they should be washing their hair. This is a very personal decision in my opinion, and you know your scalp and your hair better than anyone else. So that is for you to choose and for you to decide and for you to implement. Let me just put that out there. But when I say overwash, I do mean washing more than your scalp and your hair actually requires. And for people who suffer from dandruff, washing your hair can actually exacerbate that condition, especially if you happen to be washing with hard water. So just keep that in mind. And then underwashing, obviously this goes without saying. If you are not cleaning your locks enough and your scalp enough, then you're not really doing enough maintenance to qualify you as a semi-freeformer or a freeformer, because freeformers actually keep their locks clean as well. So yeah, you're just kind of losing altogether. Get it together. So no overwashing and no underwashing. The 5th thing that you don't do when you semi-freeform is bleach your locks. The 5th thing that you don't do when you semi-freeform is have a mindset which is obsessive when it comes to your locks. Basically, you are finding that balance between lock care and just letting your locks be so that they can grow without your constant interference, right? It's very relaxed, it's very chill. You're not over exaggerating when it comes to your locks. You're not compulsively doing things to them. It's like, I got you, but I have faith in you as well. You know, you're gonna be okay. And if you start to veer off track a little bit, I'm there to help you out. But basically, I've trained you, and yeah, make me proud, you know? That's kind of how I see semi-freeform locks. All right, so as promised, I told you I would be sharing with you my winter lock routine. So if you are not new to my channel, you've been watching my videos for a while, you know that I can go months and months without doing anything to my hair. That includes maintenance, that includes using oils. Like, my hair holds on to moisture pretty well. So what I'm about to tell you is definitely specific to the winter time, okay? So first of all, I am semi-freeforming. This year, I'm only retwisting my hair 3 times. I retwisted at my 6-year lock anniversary back in August. And my last retwist was the 16th of last month. Well, I almost said this month, thinking it's still December 2020. No, we're done with that. The 16th of last month. So that was that one, and then I'll do another one in April, and then the final one will occur at my 7-year mark in August. So yeah, I definitely qualify as a semi-freeformer. Right now, because it's so cold, because it's winter, I am moisturizing my locks twice a week. So I put 3 or 4 days in between every time I do it, because I'm not someone who needs to, you know, douse my locks and my scalp with oil. So what I use to moisturize my scalp and my locks is rose water. I like this Cortas brand. I got it on Amazon. I think it was like 5 or 6 of these bottles for like $20 or something like that. It was a good deal. And I'm still using them. I've only bought rose water once on Amazon, and I still have bottles. I think I still have 2 more bottles. So yeah, it has lasted me a while. So I'll mix this with either vitamin E oil. This happens to be by De La Cruz. So I'll either mix these 2 together in this, shake it up, and originally I would do half and half, but I really do have an aversion to getting built up and to just doing too much. So now the proportion leans more in favor of the rose water so that it's more liquid, and then just some lesser amount of the oil that I'm using. If I don't use vitamin E oil, then I will use sweet almond oil, and this happens to also be by De La Cruz. Okay, so mix these 2 together, same proportions, more rose water than oil, but definitely enough oil to do what it needs to do to coat the hairs. And then of course, yeah, once again, I'll mix them and put them in the spray bottle. So I'll just spray it along my locks, get my scalp, rake my fingers through to kind of spread it around. And then the last thing that I'll use is this wild hair growth oil. Okay. So I'll use this like in the corners where my hairline is receding, just because it's genetic, and also on the top of my head because it's thinner, which also is genetic, I assume. And then after applying this, I'll kind of massage in those areas with my hands. But then I finish it up with this, I forget what this is called, but I'm sure you guys have seen this before, and you can press this button right here and it vibrates. So then I'll put it in the different spots all over my head to kind of stimulate blood flow. And I found that sometimes I don't even like to have it on. I kind of like put it on and then massage and rotate, you know, in different directions. I mean, they make these that are not battery powered and don't vibrate, so that massaging motion should help to stimulate blood flow to your scalp, which promotes hair growth. And one thing that I thought about is that it seems, I don't know, you guys will have to let me know in the comment section, but it seems counterproductive to have this on and move it in a circular motion. It seems almost like it's better to just apply it to your locks and let it vibrate, because it's almost like when you're moving it and it's also vibrating, you're kind of canceling out, you know, the vibrations. It's just a theory that I have, so I try to do one or the other. When it's on, I usually kind of just like to plop it down to my scalp and feel the vibrations and let it do what it does. And then if it's off, then I will do the manual labor of massaging my scalp with it. I also got this on Amazon. Yeah, I love it. So I do this every time I moisturize my hair, which for the winter right now is twice a week. It's very simple. Those are the only products that I use on my locks. So it's very minimalistic in a way, and it's really natural, I would say. I mean, even the ingredients that make up the wild growth hair oil, they're pretty good ingredients. So yeah, that's my winter lock routine, and it's working for me. All right, you guys, hopefully this video has given you a better idea of what it looks like to be on a semi-freeform lock journey. In my opinion, semi-freeform really is the best of both worlds. It satisfies the need to nurture your locks while also leaving room for nature. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have semi-freeform locks, let me know the personal approach that you take to semi-freeforming, meaning what is allowed and what is an absolute no-no for you. I cannot wait to read your comments. If you choose to love, do so unconditionally, because loving with conditions conditions the heart to not really love at all. This is Atreyu Locs, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.